mission, I'ma get it. You know I be on a what? Yeah. You know I be on a what? Man on a mission, I'ma get it. You know I be on a what? Yeah, it's all hard, ain't no fear here. You ain't giving this at all, you steer clear. Never beat, I've been down and I reappear. You got some money on the line, you better put it here. Rolling in and doing that work. Check priorities, I'm doing that first. Checks big and I'm sure that hurts, but it's checkmate, we ain't selling short, no to work. Ain't nowhere to hide. You ain't gotta see me come and keep me on your mind, cause I be on the work.
Hey guys, what's going on, everybody? This is Dane from NYYU. We'd like to welcome you to the Farm Report. Los, we're back.
It's good to be back, man. It's good to be back. Even feel
I
normal.
missed you, buddy.
Definitely, man.
So I got to give everybody a little update what's been going on. About 5 or 6 weeks ago, I was reaching down on my back and I found the lump next to my spine. And I've had skin cancer before, but this was really close to my spine. It was a really big lump. So when I went and got it checked out, it ended up being squamous cell, and they scheduled a removal date. And when they were doing the pre-scans and all that, they noticed there was a larger lump underneath of it that they thought was a tumor, which freaked me out because it was about 21 centimeters from my spine. But it turned out when they went in to get it that what was underneath was a cyst. So just the top ended up being the squamous cancer. And then they had to go back in and get the cyst a couple days later. But I got the all clear on Friday. I'm good to go. Thank you to everyone who reached out. Guy, Fast Eddie, and Tiny. Appreciate you guys. Lots and lots of people reached out. Appreciate every one of you. But let's get into some baseball. Los, let's talk about the Major League Club a little bit.
I mean, one thing that I can tell right off the bat is I saw today's lineup and it just annoyed the hell out of me. They got the Walmart brand of DJ LeMahieu, and that forces Ben Rice to the bench. It's a little bit frustrating to me because last year all you heard about Ben Rice was that he can't hit left-handed pitching, he can't hit it. So he went to work in the offseason. This year he's hitting almost 300 against left-handed pitching. I think he's hitting 292 if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
And I know over his lifetime DJ LeMahieu was over 300 versus left-handed hitter, but that's not the case this year. I think this year he's hitting like 130, 140, if I'm not mistaken. There's no reason why Ben Rice should be sitting against a left-handed pitcher at this time.
Absolutely not. He hit Max Fried twice the other night. And let's be honest, Max Fried's one of the best left-hand pitchers in baseball as a starter.
Mm-hmm.
So he should be Ben Rice should absolutely be in the lineup. I've been really impressed with him, how the at-bats have looked. The first base has looked better than I expected. The defense there.
Mm-hmm.
But he doesn't look overmatched. He still has the same approach that we've seen for the last 2 years. The very patient approach, takes a lot of pitches. And he looks like he's going to be able to do some damage at the major league level once he gets adjusted.
Yeah, and he needs opportunities as well. He needs opportunities because, you got to adjust to major league pitching. I don't think it's just going to be an easy transition from the international league to the major leagues. But for me, there's no reason why he should be sitting.
No,
especially with how bad the lineup has looked. Sands, Soto and Judge and
Volpe.
Rizzo for a brief moment, Volpe, especially in the beginning of the season. But yeah, pretty much right now it's Volpe, Soto, and Judge. And it doesn't make any sense to me.
And speaking of the rest of that lineup, Giancarlo Stanton got hurt, and that's no surprise to us. But the thing that sucks is your boy happens to be hurt again with the obliques trade.
Yeah. That was terrible. This was a perfect opportunity for him to come up for, a month or whatever it may be. It's just terrible luck. And, and for some people who have seen saying this, Jason Dominguez does not have an injury bug. He's not fragile. It's just a freaking thing. Last year when he what is he tore the UCL, that was the first time he had
Right.
ever been injured in his career, and this is just an unfortunate thing to happen to him. It sucks for us as fans because we wanted him on the field.
Absolutely. And, power hitters get oblique strains. It's what happens. And especially switch hitters, he's young. This is the first time that injury's happened to him. I'm not expecting him to be out 8 weeks. I expect him to be back in 8 weeks, if anything.
I mean that I hope to see him sooner. Definitely, definitely want to see him sooner than that. I mean, as it is, I thought he was going to be back maybe September, the end of August, maybe. So I'm hoping for the best from him.
Absolutely. And then one other guy at the major league level we got to talk about is my guy, Yoendry Gomez.
Hmm.
He came out and basically piggybacked the Luis Heel start, and he looked absolutely phenomenal.
I mean, I think I want to say every time he's been called on by the Yankees, he's looked really good. It's just unfortunate that he pitches 2 innings, 2 clean innings for them, and then they ship him back to Scranton. This time I think he got lucky because of the off day. That's probably the only reason it didn't send him down. But I mean, that bullpen is hurting right now. I know that they have been good all season long. As of late, though, they've been taking a thumping. Why not just keep him up there and see what he can do with more consistent reps.
Well, I think he's got 12 or 13 strikeouts in his 7 or 8 innings that he's pitched this year. I mean, the kid has been phenomenal, and they need strikeout guys in that bullpen.
Mhm.
So why not just leave him up and see what he can do? But you bring up another point about the bullpen. We have
Mhm.
some needs in that bullpen, especially right-handed right now, that we can solve internally. Who are your
Mhm.
top options to solve some of the internal?
Well,
Um,
besides Joe Andrews, um, I think the most glaring guy is probably Jack Neely, who's pitched really well. I know he's only had about 3 outings, I want to say, at Scranton, but he's looked really good in those outings.
he has. I think that he's going to be a big part of that postseason bullpen, or at least he needs to be. Plus, they have guys like Scott Efros and JT Brubaker who have looked good down in Tampa so far, coming back here pretty soon.
Mhm. Yeah, Frost is another guy that's coming back soon. I can't think of who else is coming up soon, but there's definitely reinforcements that are coming. But for me, I definitely want to see Jack Neely.
Absolutely. How would you feel about Clayton Beater getting a look once he
I
gets
mean,
back
we've
healthy?
spoken about that before. Yeah, that's
Right.
definitely an option for him to come out of the bullpen, pitch, 2 innings, maybe be a back end option. That's definitely a place where we could see him debut if needed.
So
Well, he's
something
already
that
debuted, sorry.
yeah, we're a little slow. We haven't done this for a
Yeah.
while. So one of the things that I'm sure you're getting as many questions about it as I am is about the trade deadline, what our needs are, who
Mhm.
our top chips are, and who from this system can help this team down the stretch. Left-hand reliever with strikeout stuff is not something that we have in that farm system right now, the upper levels.
Mhm. I think the only guy that comes to mind is Ryan Anderson, and today he just went on a 7-day IL, so there's that. Um, Guys that could probably help him. I mean, I've been saying for a while, I think Cardinals Narvaez is a guy that could definitely help out. I think right now he's hitting about 280 and change. He's in the top 10 in home runs in the system. And he's a guy who's looked good this season. He looked good in spring training. I definitely thought he was a guy that with the potential to be a good trade piece for them.
I do too. I think he upped his value tremendously Sunday with that 5 for 5 performance.
Yep,
You
on
know,
base six
he's
times.
yeah, he's playing excellent defense behind the plate. He's a decent first baseman, and he's hitting well, and his on base percentage is 396 for the year. So that's been impressive. I think he's going to be a big trade chip for them to go get a bullpen arm.
Hmm.
Um, Going around the infield, people are worried about second base. There's not really an in-house option right now to fill second base or even spell Glaber until
I
Caleb
mean,
Durbin gets back.
there is one, but they just sent him down after one day. And I know he hasn't been
As
playing all that good at Scranton, but maybe he responds differently to getting everyday reps at the big league level. I mean, we don't know, and we'll probably never know.
no, I feel so bad for Peraza. You know how big of a Peraza fan
Yep.
you and I and Pete all were. And right now he looks like he's an elite fielder with great speed that can't hit very much. And that's not a very good combination for the major leagues right now. I still really want to see him get some time next year in spring training, see if he can't win that second base job.
Yeah, I don't. I think the Yankees are ready to move on from him. I don't even know why because they didn't really give him a legit shot. The
Right.
season prior, they did call him up. We've spoken about this. They called him up. He hit 300 in that cup of coffee that he got. He started a playoff game or two. He went into the season as the favorite to win the shortstop job. I don't know why or how they just soured on him all of a sudden. Just didn't give him any reps. I can't recall a number two prospect in the system being treated this way, but. I can't see Peraza getting a legit shot with the Yankees right now. I mean, I think we have to be looking at, I guess, Vivas right now, as the next guy, as the next man up.
What about Caleb Durbin when he gets back?
Who the hell even knows when that's going to be? Because I haven't seen any news regarding Caleb Durbin. I haven't heard even a peep regarding it. Maybe I'll ask Brophy about it because, I mean, I doubt he knows, but I haven't seen or heard anything about him. And I really wish Major League Baseball would do something about this because it's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, what if we were going to the park to specifically to see a prospect, yeah, and that team is keeping him out of the lineup because he's hurt, but they're not really saying anything about it. I'm going to be pissed if I go to the park to go see that, Spencer Jones or Jason Dominguez, and they just keep him out of the lineup because he's hurt, but they're just not putting him on the IL.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I would like to see them be a little bit more forthcoming with at least a time frame. So,
Yeah, definitely.
yeah,
Like we've heard nothing on Durbin, we've heard nothing on Chase Hampton either,
we haven't heard anything on Clayton Beater either.
or Beater, right? It's like they just go into some sort of abyss.
Yeah. So jumping into AAA this week, what'd you have there?
I had Carlos Narvaez was not just the player of the week at Scranton, he was the player of the week in the system. He hit 447, 1460 OPS, four extra base hits, two home runs, six RBIs, which was basically helped by a 5-for-5 day where he was on base six times, including a walk.
Yeah.
You had Brandon Lockridge, who hit 357, 795 OPS, five RBIs, two walks, three steals. I always thought he could have been a guy that comes in as that fourth or fifth outfielder, maybe
Yeah.
a pinch runner late in the season or even in the playoffs. But I have no idea if that's on the horizon for the Yankees or if that's even in their plans. You
Um,
had Jorvis.
I want about Lockridge. I think that he can be that late inning defensive replacement or even that pinch runner that we see in the
Hmm.
playoffs. He's got
Yep.
incredible speed. He's a great base stealer and he's a phenomenal defensive outfielder. So
And
maybe
plays all
that's
three
a role.
positions.
Yeah, and maybe that's a role for him.
Hmm. Then you also have Vivas, who hit 316, 500 on base percentage, three extra base hits, two home runs, seven RBI, seven walks, a steal. TJ Rumfield, 918 OPS, three extra base hits, two home runs. He's another guy that not a lot of Yankee fans wanted to see him get the call.
Yes,
But
they
that
did.
wasn't to be. I mean, I thought the Yankees were going to go that route, but they went with Ben Rice.
Do you blame him?
They needed offense, I would say. I
Yeah.
said that's probably why Ben Rice got the nod, and I think actually no, he wasn't because Ben Rice had just been in a slight slump at that time, I believe.
He was in AAA hitting the ball pretty well when he got called up.
He was, but he wasn't. He was nowhere near as hot as he was when he first got there. Those first few
Right.
games, I think he
Right.
had cooled off a little bit. But yeah, he was still hitting. Same thing with Rumfield. I think Rumfield has hit pretty much all season, well, since he got to Scranton. And he's playing very good defense. I think in the last reel that I posted for TJ, he did made a couple good defensive plays.
I like TJ. I'm not sure that he's going to get a shot now that they've given Ben Rice that shot, but maybe we'll see him. He could also end up being a trade chip
Hmm.
for us. So,
Um, on the pitching front, then you had Will Warren, who's the pitcher of the week down there. There wasn't too many good good weeks by the prospects in at Scranton. Um, Will Warren threw six innings, two runs, six strikeouts. He had a really good June. I think he might have one more start, I want to say, but he's had a really good June. I know the May was absolutely atrocious. He looked terrible. I think he had an ERA of close to eight, I want to say.
yeah,
But he's looked like he's bounced back in June. I think he has an ERA just at three or maybe a little bit under. And then you had Jack Neely, who's pitched two innings last week with two strikeouts, no runs allowed.
I think we see both those kids sometime this year. Whether it's when we need another starter for Warren, or I want Jack Neely in that bullpen by the playoffs because he's just so hard to hit.
Definitely. Um, I'm just so impressed by Neely, man. He just for me he just fits the profile of that big time closer, and I hope he's able to realize that one day.
I think they're going to. I'm not sure that they're going to re-sign Clay Holmes, and
We'll
Neely.
see.
We'll see, but Neely looks like the guy, at least internally, that could fill that role best.
Well, I think I said that in the last episode that we had that, if their intention is not to sign Clay Holmes because he prices himself out for the Yankees, then you got to give Neely those innings right now. You got to let him get that experience to see if he can be that, that closer for you come next year.
I agree. Now, do you have anything else at AAA?
No, that was it.
Now let's go to AA.
At Double A, the player of the week for me there was the resurgence of Alexander Vargas. He hit 462, 1077 OPS, an extra base hit and four RBIs. He had a really good week down there, so I'm happy for him. Maybe that helps him going forward and lights a fire under him, and maybe he can realize that five tool skill set that he said or that he had coming out of Cuba. You also had Elijah Dunham. He had 389, three extra base hits, a home run. He had a big three-run home run. I think it was on Saturday, I want to say, with three walks.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Polensky is another one. He hit 385, an extra base hit, four RBIs. You had Spencer Jones. He hit 333, an extra base hits, two RBIs, three walks, a stolen base. And your boy Jesus Rodriguez hit 267, 888 OPS, a home run, two RBIs, two walks.
Jesus just hits. No matter where he goes, the boy just hits.
Hmm.
I know this is something we could have talked about earlier, but with the Yankees having six catchers now on the 40 man since they added Ben Rice, do you think they shop some of those guys at the deadline?
I mean, it would make sense to. I don't know if Jesus is one of those guys because Jesus can play multiple positions.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and maybe the Yankees value that. So I don't know. I would have to say it would make sense to shop some of these guys, but it's the Yankees. You never know what you're gonna get.
Yeah. And boy, did he make a throw from home to cut down a runner a couple days ago. Whoa, that kid's got an arm.
It's a good player, man. I really, and we both are big fans of Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
He plays well at just about every position that I've seen him play. I did see him make a couple highlight plays at center field in the Venezuelan league. I don't know how that would play out, if he got consistent reps in center field, but pretty much everywhere else he's played, he's been a pretty good defensive player.
I think there's a lot of value in a guy that can play catcher, third base, second base, first base, and some outfield spots. I mean, there's a lot of value in a player like that, and yeah, I think he could almost be a Ben Zobrist type for us. What we
I
wanted to
mean,
see Cabrera be.
yeah, I was gonna say the Yankees have been looking for that guy for a long time, and we thought Cabrera was gonna be that guy. For that to happen, first of all, he needs more reps than what he's getting right now.
Yeah. And what about on the pitching side? What'd you have down there?
On the pitching front, the rotation had a pretty rough week. The player of the week down there was Kevin Stevens. He pitched two and two-thirds shutout innings with five strikeouts. Luis Velasquez had a really good week, two and two-thirds innings, four strikeouts, one walk. Jordan Calderon, two and a third, no run, two and a third shutout innings and a strikeout. And that pretty much were the best pitchers of the week at Somerset.
Now, if Luis Velasquez has a solid month and a half, do you think that there's any possibility we could see him in the major league bullpen this year?
I mean, I would be surprised. I'd be
Right.
surprised if you saw him.
Yeah. I was hoping at the beginning of the year with a good first half that he could be up because he's got such filthy stuff, but he struggled with some control and giving up some home runs. So I'm not sure that we're going to see that this year, but he's definitely a bullpen option for next year sometime.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really hoping that he figures out the command issues. When I did speak to him about, all the walks he was giving up, he said that he just felt like he's been rushing everything. So like I said, he's had a good week, and maybe that's the start of him righting the ship.
Yeah. Now moving on to high A.
Moving on to high. I mean, as you guys know, I was in Jersey last week, so I did get to
Right.
visit Hudson Valley. I did get to go to Somerset. Going to Hudson Valley That was a very uncomfortable trip for me. When you get off the highway to head into their stadium, it's basically a one lane road with traffic about 45 minutes to get into the stadium. It was absolutely crazy. Um, and I was talking to Brophy and I told him I was like, I went to the concession stand and I was literally in line for like 3, 4 innings. And then when I
Oh
got to the front
no.
of the line, they had like no food. So I was like, they got some things to work on down here.
Did you get a
Um,
chance to talk to any of the players down there?
I just briefly spoke to Rafael Flores, but because I was sitting right by him. Jay Savina as well. That's pretty much it. At Somerset though, I did get to speak to Augustine Ramirez, Zach Messenger. With Zach, we huddled up with Kev and also Pete when we were down there. So I had a good time. I like that stadium actually. Somerset has a very good stadium, very good crowd. I would love to visit again.
Nice. Okay, back to high A. Go ahead.
And hey, you had Rock Riggio for me was the player of the week. He hit 385, 1292 OPS, two extra base hits, a home run, two RBIs, six walks. Jay Savina hit 333, four extra base hits, a home run, three RBIs. Omar Martinez hit 300, a home run, two RBIs. And you had Brenny Escani who also hit 273 with two extra base hits.
Now tell everybody a little bit about Brandy and Scana.
Brenny Escani is a middle infielder, shortstop, played third base. He's mostly a contact hitter, plays good defense. He was okay at Tampa. He's been playing a lot better at Hudson Valley. He's actually surprised me
Hmm.
there. Um, and, and and that's one of the things that I want to see from the Yankees is hopefully promoting some players and just challenge them, right? Challenge them
Right.
at the next level to see if they sink or swim. Because there's always going to be somebody that comes up behind him. And Brene looks like he's up for the challenge. He's playing really well while he's been down there.
Okay. On the pitching side, what'd you have?
Ben Shields was the player of the week for me. He threw five in the third innings, one run, nine strikeouts. You had Cole Ayers. He threw three and two-thirds innings, one run, seven strikeouts. And Eric Reiselman, three and two-thirds shutout innings with five strikeouts, has looked like an absolute weapon down there every time the Renegades call him out of the bullpen.
Yeah, he's been someone that's been hurt for a couple of years since he was drafted, but he finally came back healthy and he's just
Mhm.
been impressive.
Absolutely. I've definitely been impressed with him since his first outing. He has just been just absolutely lights out every time he's come out. I think he's had maybe I want to say four outings, but he's just looked absolutely amazing to me every time he's come out.
Think he could be fast tracked to the bullpen sometime?
I don't know how old he is and being the injury thing as well. I mean it's possible. It's
Hmm.
possible, but I don't see the Yankees rushing him right now, especially since he's coming off of an injury.
That's a good point. I was thinking more for next year or the year after that, but
But I could definitely see him getting to Somerset this year, especially
yeah.
the way he's been pitching.
And what's the velo like?
I saw him get up to 98.
Wow. He's added some then.
I seen him get up to 98. Fastball has looked really good. I forgot what the secondary stuff is, but the fastball has been lights out.
Nice. Anything else left at Hudson Valley you want to touch on?
That's pretty much it at Hudson Valley.
Let's get to our favorite level, Tampa.
At Tampa, you have Willie Montero, who hit 467, 1023 OPS and RBI, two walks. Willie Montero has been on an absolute tear for about a month now. I think he's hitting I want to say about 400 over the last
Hmm.
maybe 25 games or so. He's been probably one of the hottest prospects in the entire organization. Um, it's not surprising, and I'm glad it's finally happening because he did finish second in average in the FCL last year. He did lead the FCL in hits as well, so I'm glad that he's finally found something and it's clicking for him.
Yeah, he looked
Um,
phenomenal last
he
year. I
has,
mean, yeah, I've been very, very impressed. And he's looked like one of the better players that came from that FCL team last year to low A this year. So,
yeah, he's looked absolutely phenomenal of late. On the defensive side, I don't think there's any question about it. He's a very good defensive player. He's got a very good arm. I think Brophy hit me up the other day when he made a throw from, I want to say right field, and he was just surprised at Montero's arm. But he's, like I said, On both sides of the ball, Montero has looked good, especially as of late with the bat.
Yeah. Who else did you have?
You had George Lombard, he hit 300, yeah, 883 OPS, three extra base hits, a home run, four RBIs, two steals. Looks like the bat is coming around for him. He's showing a little bit of power too, which a lot of people have been asking, where's the power? Where's the power? He's not hitting any doubles. He's a slap hitter mostly who's drawing walks. But it looks like he's coming around now. So hopefully in the second half we get to see more of that power.
Yeah, that was his first home run of the year, which is kind of surprising since he went deep in
That's
spring training.
that's for his first professional home run.
Right. Okay. But I think the power will come. He was a very young kid when he was drafted. He's only 18 years old.
Hmm.
Um, I think we're going to see some good things coming from him soon. Got to work on the
Um,
defense a little bit.
they all do. They all do on that team.
Yeah.
Next you have Kobe Morales. He hit 300, two RBIs, two walk, two steals. Hans Montero hit 286, extra base hits, a home run, an RBI, and a walk. That sums up the offense.
Pitching.
On the pitching side, you had Gabriel Barbosa. He pitched a 3.60 ERA. It's 5 innings, 2 runs, 5 Ks. He's been up and down, I want to say. Barbosa, he was a Rule 5 pick for the Yankees. I think they got him from the Rockies, I want to say.
Uh-huh.
But he's had good moments. He's had a couple good moments and then a couple moments where he just takes a step back. But he's for the most part has looked good. You had Luis Serna who had back-to-back games rained out on him. He's thrown 4 innings, 4 shutout innings with 5 strikeouts, a walk. Aaron Nixon, 2 1/3 innings, 2 strikeouts, and that pretty much sums up the pitching at Tampa.
Okay. Let's go through some FCL stuff. I know the league just started earlier this month, but we've got to see some pretty good performances so far.
Yeah, I mean, I think right now Abraham Ramirez is probably the hottest prospect in the entire system. Last week he hit 727, which is absolutely insane.
That's
Um,
nuts.
Three extra base hits, two RBIs, four walks, and that's just been what he's done all season. I think I haven't looked at today they got rained out, but yesterday I saw at one point he got to 406. And we're talking about a player who's played since opening day. He's hitting 406 at the halfway point of the season. Tremendous season from him.
Yeah, he's looked absolutely phenomenal. And as you told me, you always knew that he could hit. The question was where he
Hmm.
was going to be defensively. And you think he's a second baseman. He's been playing a little third base as
Hmm.
well, but the best spot for him long term is second base. And we know that we have an open spot next year at second base. I know he won't be up that quick, but
Uh-huh.
that's a long term hole that we're going to have to fill at some point.
Yeah. The next guy you have Juan Matheus. He hit 500, 533, two extra base hits, four RBIs. He's another guy. He's kind of like a Ramirez, except for I want to say Matheus is a switch hitter.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the same thing. Both of them are shortstops from out of Venezuela. Matheus has been really good as of late. I think he's up to around 313, 315 right now.
Yeah.
Um, You also have Luis Ogando who hit 375 last week. Two RBIs, a steal. Brandon Maya hit 333. Three walks, three steals. And Joel Mendez hit 286 with three walks.
Now, we're going to get asked this question a lot because Maya is a top prospect. And how has he looked in your opinion?
He's looked good. He's looked good. I think he's hitting around 280, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
He's looked very good defensively. I've seen him make a few diving catches. He's thrown out a few guys as well. He's drawing a lot of walks, and he's been pretty much an absolute terror when he's on the bases. When he's on the bases, I want to say he's 15 out of 18 in stolen bases right now.
Wow. Wow. Now, do you have some updates on Legrand and Lulane?
LeBron has already he's already been pitching.
Right.
He threw what's today? I want to say he threw on Saturday, I want to say, or Monday. I think he threw on Monday. He threw 1 2/3 inning. He gave a 1 run and two strikeouts. It was an okay outing for him. Lalani, the last time I had spoken to him, he told me that he was starting to throw, which was a little earlier than I was expecting. But I haven't touched base with him lately to see, how that's been going for him.
Gotcha. Do you want to touch on anything at the DSL?
At the DSL, I mean, not really. Maybe I'll talk about Jerson Alejandro, who was
Yeah.
last year's their top IFA pitcher that they signed. Um, I noticed that the fastball for him was up like 44, I'm sorry, 94, 95, which was where he was sitting at.
Right.
And when I saw him last year, I know Baseball America had put out that article saying that the Yankees had signed Jerson, and Jerson was a guy that was hitting 98, 99. But last year, I didn't see that at all. I didn't see that at
Me
all. I saw
either.
him mostly sitting around 90, 91, maybe topping out at 92, which so I was a little surprised by it. But this season looks like the velo is back. Or I don't know if that was a mechanics thing. I don't know if that was he was out of shape thing. But the velo is definitely looks like it's back now.
Yeah, and he's another one of those big body pitchers that could move quickly if everything clicks right, because he just has fantastic stuff.
Yeah,
But
he's definitely a guy you could see in FCL maybe this season, or if not, definitely you're going to see him there next year. One of the guys I did want to mention at the DSL, you had Edinson Marquez. He's a pitcher, right-handed pitcher. He's looked really good this season, and he's got some of that moxie that I love to see. A little bit of an attitude. This year they faced off against the other Yankee DSL team, and in the first inning he struck out the first three guy, and he was kind of egging them on. I love to see that kind of stuff.
yes, you do. I'm missing that from your boy Chase. I need to see him back soon, so he can yell at
The other
his
guy,
second. So he can yell at his
huh?
second baseman. I
Oh,
want to see Chase yell at his second baseman after he strikes out the side for not being in the right position again.
terrible, man, terrible. The other guy I did want to mention was Bron Martinez, who's having a really good, he's off to a really good start. I know he's hitting around I think he's hitting around 330 or 333, something like that. He's off to a really good start. The other guy that I did want to mention was Francisco Vilorio. I had noticed that he was out of the lineup for a couple of days, so I had hit him up and he told me that he was hurt. But that he expects to be back in the lineup maybe next week. I
Okay,
don't know if the Yankees are going to agree with him on that, but he's been out of the lineup for maybe a week and change.
gotcha. So coming up for us, we have a draft special with Bobby Malone the week before the draft that we're going to shoot. And we have a Yankees Farm episode coming out on the Yankees Farm channel later this week. What else do you got going?
And that's pretty much it, you know. Keep working, pumping out videos day in and day out.
And guys, we're doing spaces on NYY for NYYU on X at 10 o'clock Eastern time on Wednesdays. It's been a lot of fun. Los was and Brophy were in there with us a couple weeks ago, had a whole prospect chat. A lot of fun. Make sure to come tag in there. So, all right, guys, we'll be back next week. This time, we promise. Thank you guys so much.
All right, guys.
Later.
Top 10 radar, yeah, we on your radar. Never miss, dog, and that's on occasion. Yeah, we on your radar. Yeah. Hey, look, top floor, lifestyle, chef and boy, I'm cooking up. Way too high, ain't coming down, you see me if you looking up. I don't really talk too much, I show them run the numbers up. Lucky that I'm showing up, I'm going off, they know what's up. Wrist too silly, yeah, numbers crack the billy, yeah, don't need no dilly. I'm too fresh, I feel like really, yeah. Feel the duffels up the sign, I need a million. I'm about to take off, and I know that I'm on they radar. Top 10